he had, I had to do a lot. But you can help your husband. So as I move forward and I can be like, I can be really nice, but don't walk on me kind of attitude. I was telling this friend, I do get that too. Um, Part of it is the post abortive stuff. Like I was talking to someone at church, the pastor, and I said, thank you for the message. And I definitely need to mourn. I definitely need to mourn what has been done. And we were talking about that, and I talked about how my husband just left and how I cannot mourn. And I think the same thing happens with women who have had abortions. The anger is the grief. That's the grief for losing your baby. You cannot mourn it. And so some of it's from that. It's just like, I will be nice to people, but don't push it, or boom, it's just like, I will say something. I think I had it before that though too. I had a lot of sense of self, and when my boyfriend just basically, I felt like tricked me, lied to me about the condom. I was like, shut off my feelings, shut down, bring me home. So some of that is really good because you need it, but I'm saying you don't want to be too much in your masculine energy. So one of the things I did notice, a couple things here as I talk about pro-life stuff. I had one person comment on another channel and say, hey, abortion's good. We now have 25 babies that have not been born. And I'm like, yeah, they're all in heaven. Where are you going? To take the DNC and be like, oh, abortion's great. It is not. Although those babies are up in heaven, abortion is sickening. It's disgusting. I just was, on a post-abortive healing circle on Facebook, and we talked about like our wins this week, things that we've done or we've seen with the abortion stuff that has made a difference in our lives. And one of the things I saw after I'm not quite done, I've got a few more classes on this trauma course, is a lot of times when women do not have their dads in their lives, they become very transactional in their relationships. They're just like, next, and so after my first boyfriend, Randy, I did have somewhat of a relationship with Mike, and I was dating him. And then I really seemed to be doing good in relationship for a couple years with my husband. That was 88, 89, graduated from high school early, and then he broke up with me because I was going to college. That was only for a couple months. And then it may not even have been that long. Then we were okay again. We worked through that, and then he broke up with me again. And he said he wanted his freedom. Now, I haven't shared a lot with that, but this is what he did. I mean, he just like totally left me before. He was like, no, I don't want to, I want my freedom. And I was ticked off. I was really ticked off. I went to his house, and I was like, I went in his room. I think I threw some stuff on the floor. That was me back then. That was like total teenage stuff. I mean, I don't even do that stuff, and I don't even like yell or stuff like that. So, I was really hurt from the rejection, and that was probably pride. It was the rejection that hurt me more than anything. So I was like, okay, and I just did not care anymore, and that was a huge stumbling block for me. And I think at that point in my life, you've got the abortion that wasn't dealt with. I'm thrown around from my father that wasn't dealt with. I had my mother coming over, screaming at me about something. I can't even remember. And it was my Aunt Tina who came over because I was living right next door to her to tell my mother to cut the crap out. I don't know what she was yelling at me about. I think I didn't really want her over or something, and she was taking a fit. And then yeah, so anyway, so long story short, so then I started dating this guy, Don. I worked at the pizza place in Epsom. So I was already working there, so I started dating him. he met my father. He was telling him stories about fishing, and he was actually, trying to bond with my dad. And we got in his Jeep together, and he lived in Hooksett. And he's like, oh, I was lying to your dad about this and that. And I'm like, we're done. We're done. I do not put up with that bull, right? So he was lying to my father. So I was like, we're done. And then from there, just trying to have a relationship, like trying to figure things out in my teen years. And then from there, I just did not care anymore about myself. I just did not care. I kept going down, down, down after an abortion. And I think that is something that, like, a lot of women go to drugs, a lot of women go to alcohol. I did not do those things. I did have one situation where I was drinking with a friend. We had some wine coolers. We were hanging around Dover. I was taking my clothes off except for my underwear and bra, and we were drinking and we were carousing and all this stuff, and I just did not care at all. And so she had she turned out not to be a really good friend to me. She really wasn't looking out for my best. And her and her boyfriend and I got together, and we were doing stuff we shouldn't have done together. And it was just like, I had to have that happen in my life to totally hit rock bottom. I mean, I totally had a girlfriend. One of my girlfriends totally used me, and of course I was drinking, but I still knew, what I was doing, and it was a mess. And that's what really brought me down low, and one of the lowest points of my life. And my husband and I, I've always been honest with him about stuff. We had gotten back together, and I really didn't care about myself after he broke up with me. And, he knew what was going on and everything. But this is the kind of stuff that can happen, not just drugs, alcohol, but sex, outside of marriage. Not just when a guy leaves you, but when you continually have, just getting used by guys, just getting used and not having good direction and knowing, what some higher standards are. Obviously, I was not walking with God. So you want to be able to, sometimes hitting rock bottom you need in life. And I'm telling you, the whole abortion thing it's just not good for women. It will ruin them. So, not that was the total, demise of me. I mean, my husband, the way he treated me back then was not okay either. And, he really did a lot of hurtful things to me. So, my point is, after an abortion, and like I said, there were some comments on my channel. Somebody said, not my channel, actually, another channel, someone said, why can't men get out of child support, right, if women choose abortion? And my response was, I believe the men who did not take leadership and who allowed, their girl to have an abortion, I believe they should pay for her post-abortive care. That's what I think. I don't think it should just, it's no longer child care because you don't have a child, but it is post-abortive care that she now needs. And I think women should have a lot of resources and money to help them deal with the healing of abortion. And so I would like to see men have to pay for that. And obviously abortion should be outlawed. And we need more men to take the lead. We need men to be there for women and not to just use them. So that's what I got for now, guys. And yeah. And when a judge is, I'm just praying the judge I find favor, because to go through what I just went through the last 18 months with my husband, and him, misusing marital assets and not even thinking of his wife, is a huge violation of marriage. Huge. So we'll see what happens with this. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys.